So let's return to our discussion. Neil, you're up. You want to tell us just a little bit about your operation up there in North Dakota?
Well, we have a commercial cow herd that was what we started with, and then we got to buying bulls kind of on the front end of a deal, so then we decided to go into raising registered Simmental. So we also have a registered Simmental herd and then a commercial cow herd. So in doing that, why that is what we're trying to do is our income and our stability and things of that nature. And it's a family operation. I'm fourth generation there, and my dad is still on the operation, and my oldest son is taking control of the registered herd, and he's trying to use the genetics as much as he can to enhance the cattle, and visiting with Bill and things before this, why we were talking about it, and the carcass part of it is important in our quest to, bring the cattle further ahead and then make a bottom line for us better, and also for our customers. That we have a bull sale the second Wednesday in February, and as I mentioned, it is a family operation, and my wife Carmen and I have 12 children, so we do have more to do than just cattle. So.
A big family operation.
Yes.
Thanks for sharing it. Dr. Sides, you'd mentioned implants earlier in the show.
Yes, sir.
How can cow, calf, and stocker operators successfully incorporate an implant program into their operation?
Kevin, it's not difficult to utilize an implant program in an operation. If I have a cow-calf operation and I brand my calves in the spring, I can utilize the Synovex C program at branding, not have to interfere with any of the operations. If I have a yearling operation where I want to run cattle on grass, when I process those cattle to vaccinate, I can give them a Synovex S or H, and it'd be a normal part of the processing. And the process itself is very simple. Middle 1/3 of the year, sub-Q, takes just a few tries to figure out that technique. No problem.
Pretty straightforward. What can you tell us about what you've seen in terms of how implants have added to the bottom line performance with some of your customers?
If I look at the cow-calf level, Synovex C ROI is around 20 to 1.
Wow.
That's pretty good when you look at the rest of Wall Street. If I go to the feedlot level and I look at ROIs, the typical implant programs will add us 75 pounds of carcass weight for about a $5 investment, less than $5. It's not a bad deal.
That's a pretty good deal in any economic time.
In any program.
Neil, talk to us about how you've incorporated implants into your operation, and perhaps specifically some of your experience in terms of the return you've seen on those investments.
For our operation, we would started using maybe different products, and as time went on, we found that the Pfizer product was labeled for maybe more a sex with the S and the H, or the C for the calves. So we went with that product, and now when we work our calves in the spring, we will give them all the C implant and into the cattle we've planned on using for feeders. And then we'll come along in the fall, and when calves go on feed, then we will use Synovex Choice and then background our calves, and then we will move them out to some operation. Will buy them and take them on to finish. And for us, to do a weight gain or anything like that, it's kind of tough, but we did go back and take our last 3 years of calves, and we hadn't implanted in 2008 the calves at all. So we tried to go back and take some of the data, and it reflects similar to what you talk about at Pfizer about the product making the $20 or 20-pound spread anyway.
Wow.
So it's helped on the profitability side of it, and that's kind of what we're trying to do all the time.
That's right. Bill, why don't you speak to the feed yard level? What impact and benefits have you seen at that level?
Well, when we bring the ballers in the fall, like right now, we're bringing in calves from Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, all source calves, but most of them haven't had an implant. A lot of them don't use any implants in them out on the range. We'll do an S or an H in the steers or heifers, and then we'll follow up after 80, 90 days with a Synovex Choice. And depending on if they're a shorter framed English model, we might even do a plus then rather than a Synovex Choice, just to get a little bit more stretch out of them. And we've stayed away from that a little bit, and some other brands of implants because of how they affect our carcass genetics. marbling as well as yield. Some of them are too strong, but in the fall of the year, when there isn't much spread between choice and select spread, the yearlings that Gary was talking about coming off, we'll like to implant them with a choice or a plus just to get more red meat growth out of them, and it really enhances it. We see 12 to 14% return on investment in the size of the animal, so
that's phenomenal.
Works very good.
Well, gentlemen, thanks so much for sharing your experience with us. Really appreciate this. This is a great discussion. And don't forget about the special offer from Pfizer Animal Health. Order either Synovex or Dectomax from Pfizer Animal Health now through December 24th, and you'll save 20% off your entire purchase. Call now, 1-877-682-2369.